This is a great slasher. This is definitely a great slasher. This is actually almost as good as the original Scream. Let's talk about it. What's up, everybody? I'm back at y'all with another video. Now, for this one, I am revisiting Scream 4. Now, I remember I saw this in theaters quite a few years back, and I remember loving it. Now, Scream 4 is actually very close to being as good as the original, in my opinion. It's like so close to being that great. Because like the gore in this film, they upped up the gore, they upped up everything. And of course, in this film, you did not think for a second this person was going to be the killer, Jill. Like, you remember, a lot of y'all that's probably watching this probably already seen the film. Y'all remember when, Jill is Dewey's like daughter or something, and you did not expect her to be the killer in this film, and she was the killer. She ended up being the killer, and they upped up the goreness. And Sidney Prescott, they made her look a little older in this film, because in real life she don't look that old in this film. Like, in real life she don't look that old, because I've seen a lot of her I've seen her on interviews and stuff, like on YouTube, like of her own interviews, and the girl that plays Sidney Prescott, and she looks younger than she did on this movie. I think they made her look a little older in this movie. Scream 4, it's a very well made slasher. If you love slasher films, Scream 4 got that, like, delivers that on every aspect of a good slasher. And like, literally, if you love slasher films, you will love this film. Gail, she ends up being a little stubborn in this film. The news reporter, Gail Weathers, she is stubborn as hell in this film through most of the film. And there's basically one negative I have with this film, and that is Dewey's mustache. Dewey's mustache in this film looks like a fake mustache. That's the only issue I have with it. It looks like a mustache you can get from Dollar Tree or somewhere, and then wear the mustache, making people think you have a mustache. They look like they just put a fake mustache on them in the film. That's the only negative I have with it. But everything else was great. Now, if they was gonna make a Scream 5, this is what I would want them to do. Because Jill didn't really necessarily die in the film. She got fucked up, yes, in the film, but she didn't really die. So this is what I think should happen in Scream 5. Because Sidney Prescott got shocked with that thing and just knocked her the fuck out, So this is what I think should happen in Scream 5. To change it up, do something new. They should in Scream 5, they should make Jill be the killer still, but she's in the mental asylum, she's breaking out and stuff. It will change a little bit of the story for Scream 5. And then, of course, in Scream 6, it'll be a totally different killer. But I enjoy Scream 4 a hell of a lot. I remember when I watched it in theaters and I loved it. As soon as it went on Blu-ray and DVD, I don't even know if they had Blu-rays at the time. They might have, but I remember when I bought this on DVD, when it came out, I watched this film over and over and over again, especially around October. I love this film. I love this film a lot. Sometimes, like, I might even say this might be better than the first one. Sometimes the first one's better than this one, Sometimes it can switch off. I love Scream 4 a hell of a lot. Like, Scream 4, I could talk about this film all day. It's just amazing film. I love it. I love the gore. I love the story. Scream 4 is definitely a good watch. And if I'm not mistaken, this is probably the last film that Wes Craven directed before he passed away, if I'm not mistaken. But rip to Wes Wes Craven. But yeah, I enjoyed this film from start to finish. If I had to rate this film, I would give it a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 movie. I could rewatch it a lot. It's one I rewatched the most, to be honest. Because I remember as soon as that went on Blu-ray DVD, I watched it. Or DVD, I watched it a lot. Like, I watched it constantly. I loved it. It was just an amazing film to me. That's why it's a 10 out of 10 movie for Scream 4. I enjoy it. Like, if y'all love slasher films, you haven't seen the Scream franchise, I highly recommend the whole franchise to watch 1 through 4. I recommend it. Because there's not a bad film in the Scream franchise, in my opinion. There's not even one bad film in the Scream franchise. And this is a type of franchise that shouldn't get remade at all because it's different than a lot of other slashers. Like, you can't even remake this film because like, what's going to happen when you do remake it? Like, this is a different type of movie that shouldn't even get remade. You can make a number 5 and change up stuff. But yeah, so I enjoy Scream 4 a hell of a lot. Like, it's a 10 out of 10 movie for me. I enjoy it. So yeah, Scream 4. So yeah, I guess that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this revisiting review, please hit the like button, please subscribe and share. And also hit the bell so you know when the videos are uploaded. Peace out. Hope you enjoyed this video. Now I'm out. Peace.